All right, folks, grab your chili dogs and put on your red shoes because we're about to rank the mainline Sonic games. And we've got some real heavy hitters with us today. So let's start with the first Sonic game. Back when Sega didn't quite know what they were doing, but ended up making something that changed the world. I mean, Green Hill Zone. Whoa, right? Every time that music starts, you know you're in for something legendary. The fact that a game this simple can still hold up, it just shows the power of Sonic. When I was a kid playing this game, man, you felt like you were flying. Green Hill Zone is timeless, still gets stuck in my head. It's not just the speed, but that level design. And Marble Zone, that's where things get a little tricky. It starts off great, but then it grinds to a halt with all those slow, moving platforms and lava pits. Not to mention the underwater sections where you're just waiting to drown.
Joe, buddy, Joe, you were in your 40s when this came out, right? You're not a kid, okay? I mean, I get it, you're nostalgic, but you can't keep saying when I was a kid. You were already old enough to vote when Sonic 1 dropped. Don't act like you were playing this when you were 6.
Haha, all right, fair point, Trump. But let me tell you, Sonic 1 was something else for its time. The music, it's iconic, Starlight Zone. That track still makes me feel like I'm running through a dream.
The music is chill, almost dreamlike. Sonic's racing through futuristic scaffolding under the night sky. This stage just flows. It's the only time the game actually lets Sonic be Sonic. And the seesaw mechanic, genius. You launch yourself into the air and skip half the stage if you time it right. Very satisfying.
Exactly. When I hear this music, man, I'm transported. I used to come home from a long day, sit down with a grilled cheese, turn on the Genesis, and just vibe. Starlight wasn't trying to stress you out. It wasn't about survival. It was about cruising, the freedom. The cool of Sonic as a character really comes through here. No water, no tight corridors, just momentum.
Yeah, you and your grilled cheese memories, but you're right. This is what Sonic was always supposed to feel like. You don't need 3D graphics or 500 dialogue cutscenes. Give me a long stretch of downhill ramps and a banger soundtrack and I'm good. You don't need 5 gimmicks when you've got level design like this. Just ramps, momentum, and a funky soundtrack. Starlight Zone walks so every good Sonic level after it could run Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, Radical Highway, they all owe something to this.
But as much as Starlight makes you feel like you're gliding on air, Labyrinth Zone, it drags you down literally and emotionally. It's like the game said, hey, remember all that fun? Forget it. Time to suffer. It's the zone equivalent of slamming the brakes at 90 miles an hour. You go from jazz, fueled speed in the clouds to submerged slowness and drowning anxiety. You can't even run in this level. You waddle. You trudge. It's like Sonic put on lead boots and forgot how to breathe.
It's a bottom tier level in a bottom tier game. Simple as that. You play it once, maybe twice if you're cursed, and then you're done. You don't revisit Labyrinth Zone. Nobody says, oh yeah, let's boot up Sonic 1 so I can take a dip in that awful water level.
We endure Labyrinth Zone, that's what it is. A test of patience, a rite of passage. Every time I make it out of that final water tunnel chase alive, I feel like I beat the odds.
You appreciate it in hindsight, but in the moment, it's a chore. It doesn't ruin the game, but it drags it down a peg.
Put it in C tier. It's iconic in a we all suffered together kind of way, but it's not fun. And Sonic's about fun, not snorkeling through death.
I'll allow a C nostalgic pain, but pain nonetheless.
Fair. Let's move on before the drowning jingle starts haunting me in my sleep. Now this is where Sonic really hit his stride. Sonic 2 didn't just add tails and call it a day, it refined everything. The speed, the level flow, the boss fights. It's like the first game was the prototype, and this was the real launch.
It's what Sonic 1 should have been in the first place, honestly. You boot it up, you hear that iconic scream, and you know you're in for something better.
Emerald Hill Zone's a banger right off the bat. Colorful, bright, fast, felt like Green Hill's cooler cousin. You've got loops, ramps, palm trees, and that checkerboard terrain that's practically Sonic's signature by now. And that music, real toe tapper.
It's smooth. That's the word. You're not just running fast, you're flowing. You hit a loop, you launch off a spring, you're grabbing 10 rings mid-air like a pro. And if you mess up, it doesn't feel like the game's punishing you. It's just pushing you to learn the rhythm.
And mechanically, it's tighter. The spin dash, game changer, no more awkward backtracking to build momentum. You can blast off on a dime now, and it makes everything feel more deliberate, more dynamic.
When I was
Here we go again.
Listen, when I first played this, I was blown away. The speed, the loops, the music. Emerald Hill Zone was like Green Hill on steroids. It set the tone immediately. This game was going to be faster, smoother, and bigger.
You know what sticks out, though? The special stages, the half pipe. First time I saw that, I couldn't believe it. Mode 7 style effects on a Genesis. It felt next gen.
Too bad Tails never pulls his weight. You're out here collecting every ring, and he just faceplants into every bomb. Useless. Just a liability.
Even so, it was the first time Sonic felt like he was part of a team. And that idea gets carried through so many other games. Tails eventually became a pilot, a mechanic. He grew with the series. But here, he was just that adorable two-tailed sidekick that kept the adventure moving. Tails was a smart move. Cute design, great animation, and gave Sonic a bit of a softer edge.
And that's what's important. Tails didn't just follow Sonic, he made the world feel more alive. So, to sum it up, Sonic 2 gave us a massive improvement in level design, memorable stages with iconic music, and introduced Tails to the franchise. But it's not without flaws. The difficulty curve spikes hard toward the end, and a few zones are just kind of forgettable filler.
The casino's fun until it isn't. The pinball stuff can drag. Metropolis is pure hell, and the special stages look cool but play like garbage unless you go solo. That said, the first half of this game is almost untouchable.
And the vibe of it all, man. You felt like you were part of something fast and cool. It was confident, stylish. Even when it kicked your ass, you wanted to keep playing.
I think we're all in agreement.
Wait. Before we move on, we forgot the biggest thing this game did, Supersonic. This was the first time we saw that golden blur. When I was a kid and I unlocked it, man.
Joe, you were not a kid. This game came out in 1992. You were a whole 50 years old. Be honest with the people. You were unlocking Supersonic on a CRT in a full suit.
He's not wrong, but you're right about the impact, Joe. Supersonic was a game changer, collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds, hitting 50 rings, and then suddenly, boom, you're flying through the zone, invincible, faster than ever. It was pure wish fulfillment. Every future Sonic game chased that high. Supersonic wasn't just a gimmick. It was a reward for dedication. And let's not forget, this was one of the first instances in gaming where you basically unlocked a second secret final form. Sonic 2 easily lands in A tier. Not quite the flawless masterpiece that would be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but it laid the groundwork for everything that came next. Emerald Hill Chemical Plant, Casino Night, Mystic Cave, Hilltop, Sky Chase, even Metropolis. As annoying as it is, it's all burned into memory. Sonic 2 wasn't just a sequel. It was the moment the series became a phenomenon.
Put it in A and let's move on to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Don't even care, I'm skipping the vote. Sonic 3 and Knuckles goes in S tier. S tier. Period. This isn't up for debate, folks. You're not topping this. You're just not. This game is everything Sonic should be. Peak 2D platforming, peak music, peak level design, peak lore. And let's talk about Hypersonic for a second. Not super, hyper. This man went Ultra Instinct before Goku even thought about it. He's blinking, flashing every color in the RGB spectrum. He's doing a screen-clearing double jump explosion like he's nuking everything on sight. You feel like the final boss of the entire Genesis. And let's not even start on the music. Hadrosity, Absolute Banger, Ice Cap, Legendary, Launch Base, Lava Reef, Hidden Palace, Doomsday Zone. I could keep naming these all day. Michael Jackson supposedly helped with some of this stuff, and whether that's true or not, it's got his fingerprints all over it. These are not just songs. These are movements. They're operatic. They elevate the whole damn experience. This is what music and games should aspire to be. And don't even get me started on the story. No dialogue, no cutscenes, no long-winded exposition, just level design that tells a story. You start on Angel Island, you chase the Death Egg, you watch it rise again in Lava Reef like it's the second coming of Robotnik's madness. You find Hidden Palace, face off with Knuckles, and then boom, plot twist. You're not even enemies. He got played too. Now you're working together. Then Doomsday hits and it's just you, Supersonic, and a meteor storm with Robotnik flying through space like a psycho trying to escape with the Master Emerald. And after all that, what did Sega do? They stopped making good 2D Sonic games for like 20 years, you hear me? 20. The next one that came close was Sonic Mania, and that wasn't even made by Sega! That's 2 decades of mid. Sonic 3 and Knuckles was so good they couldn't follow it up. They tried. God knows they tried. But the bar was set here. It wasn't until Christian Whitehead basically rose from the ashes with Mania that we got something that even tried to stand in the same league. And even then, this is the gold standard. Honestly, this is the kind of game that defines a childhood. But more than that, it defines a genre. If you've never played it, you're missing out on one of the greatest 2D platformers of all time. And if you have played it, then you already know this belongs at the top.
Jesus Christ, man, are you done? Okay. First of all, that was a 3-minute filibuster on a Genesis game, but he's right. I mean, yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles really is that game, and we can't act like it isn't. From level design to music to the multiple playable characters and the branching paths, it's got it all. That whole thing with Knuckles not being the villain, that was storytelling back then.
Yeah, I blacked out somewhere around Hypersonic Goes Ultra Instinct. Felt like you were about to start foaming at the mouth, Jack.
And those special stages, the blue sphere ones, still go crazy. Stressful as hell, but fair. Fair in a way that Sonic 1's rotating nightmares never were.
You hit the checkpoint and it sends you into a whole different level of respect for 2D games. Even the transitions between acts had more drama than half the cutscenes in some modern stuff. And I don't care what anyone says, snowboarding down Ice Cap Zone. That was the moment. That was the Genesis flexing. Like, yeah, we got attitude and style. So yeah, alright, you win this one, Don S. tier.
Thank you. Took you long enough.
But now that you've burned out the mic and eaten our runtime, let's take a break. We'll tackle the rest next time. Sonic CD Rush Advance, the weird 3D years, all of it.